Do you know that what truly changes everything in a person's life? It's almost never what they add. It's what they finally have the courage to release. Most people spend their lives collecting more goals, more obligations, more opinions, more noise. But very few stop to ask a more important question: what am I carrying that no longer belongs to me? Because beneath the chaos, beneath the explanations and justifications, beneath the endless conversations that lead nowhere, there is a quieter version of you. A truer one. That version doesn't need to argue. It doesn't need to prove. It doesn't cling to what has already ended. It understands something profound: peace begins the moment you let go. The Stoics understood this long before modern self-help ever existed. They knew that freedom doesn't come from gaining control over the world. It comes from releasing your grip on what was never truly yours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. But here's the truth most people miss: the hardest part isn't mastering your thoughts. It's recognizing the habits, attachments, and beliefs that have been quietly controlling them for years. So let's talk about 5 things you must slowly, deliberately eliminate, not loudly, not dramatically, but with calm resolve. Because real transformation doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly. Number 1, the need to explain yourself. From childhood, you were conditioned to justify your existence. Why you chose this path. Why you said no. Why you walked away. Why you need space. Why you changed. And every time you explain, a subtle message is sent to your own mind: I need permission to be who I am. The people who truly respect you don't need explanations. They trust your judgment. They trust your boundaries. And those who demand explanations are rarely seeking clarity. They are seeking leverage. Seneca warned us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. This includes craving validation, approval, and understanding. You don't need everyone to understand you. You need to understand yourself, and stand there calmly without defense. Stop explaining. Start embodying. Let your consistency speak. Let your peace answer questions you no longer need to entertain. Number 2, relationships that require you to shrink. There are relationships that feel familiar but quietly suffocating. People who are comfortable with you, as long as you don't outgrow them. Friends who become uneasy when you succeed. Family members who bond through shared struggle, not shared growth. Partners who admire your potential but resent your progress once it becomes real. These relationships don't collapse suddenly. They decay slowly. You compromise once. You dim yourself slightly. You stay silent when you should speak. And over time, you forget who you were becoming. Marcus Aurelius said, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Sometimes the majority is simply the circle you grew up in. And sometimes insanity is staying small so others can remain comfortable. You do not owe anyone your limitation. Real connection expands you. Real love makes room for evolution. Anything that demands your self-betrayal is not loyalty, it's fear disguised as closeness. Number 3, the stories you keep repeating about yourself. I'm just not built that way. I've always been like this. That's just who I am. Pay close attention to the language you use when you describe yourself. Because those words are not observations, they are instructions. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that matters." But interpretation doesn't stop in the moment. It continues every time you replay the story in your mind. You are not your worst habit. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the version of you that survived an earlier chapter. Your body has changed. Your nervous system has adapted. Your awareness has expanded. Yet you continue introducing yourself using outdated beliefs. The story you tell becomes the life you repeat. Change the story, not by pretending, but by allowing yourself to evolve. Growth doesn't betray your past, it redeems it. Number 4, the addiction to being busy. Modern life has convinced you that rest is laziness and silence is unproductive. So you stay busy. Constantly moving. Constantly doing. Constantly distracted. But deep down, you know the truth. Busyness is often avoidance in disguise. The Stoics valued clarity, not chaos. Presence, not pressure. Seneca wrote, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting it. We waste it chasing urgency that isn't real. We waste it serving priorities that aren't ours. We waste it mistaking motion for meaning. Stillness is not weakness. Silence is not emptiness. Rest is not quitting, it is recalibration. When you slow down, you hear the truth. And that is why so many are afraid to stop. Let go of the identity that equates exhaustion with worth. Replace it with intention. With direction. With presence. Number 5, the fear of starting over. This fear keeps people trapped longer than pain ever could. You stay because of time invested. Because of sunk costs. Because walking away feels like admitting failure. But Seneca said, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." Starting over does not erase your past, it integrates it. You don't lose experience when you change direction. You carry it forward with wisdom. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where your awareness caught up to your courage. Maybe the path you walked was necessary only to teach you what no longer fits. Maybe the delay wasn't wasted time, it was preparation. There is no deadline on becoming who you were meant to be. The Stoics never promised perfection. They taught discipline of mind. Daily practice. Quiet correction. Peace is not discovered in a single moment. It is built, choice by choice, release by release. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You only need the courage to walk away from what no longer aligns. Marcus Aurelius wrote reminders to himself every night, not because he was weak, but because he was human. So let this be your reminder. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow what once felt safe. The life meant for you already exists, on the other side of what you're finally willing to release. If this message spoke to you, subscribe, not as a habit, but as a commitment to the person you are becoming. And until next time, remember this. Be patient with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You're doing far better than you think.